Okay, today is November 26th. It's a Saturday. And the building you're looking at is 436 Belvedere. That is the house I grew up in the Haight Ashbury, San Francisco. So this is 436 Belvedere Street, San Francisco, California 94117. And I'm going to take a quick look at the surrounding neighborhood. I'm going to get some footage of the house inside a little bit later. But this is Belvedere Street. Got a car coming down the street. Let's look the other direction. Looking into the sun now, get a little lens flare. And there are three hills that reach up to, I think it's Carmel Street, 17th and then Carmel. There's another angle of it. That's the house. Here's the neighbors. Right there. This one I think has had a lot of work done. Something to the tune of 100,000 or 200,000. A lot of work, but it's just gorgeous. I wish we could put that kind of money into this house and redo it. It could really use a lot of upgrading. Once again, Belvedere Street. That's right there where the stop sign is, right about where it says stop on the ground. That's where I got hit by a car, right there. We were at the corner of Belvedere and Grattan. That's Grattan right there. Let's see if I can get the Belvedere Grattan sign. I see Grattan, I don't quite see Belvedere. I think I'm getting some lens flare, reflection, whatever. There we go. Belvedere Grattan. There it is. And once again, another angle. 436 on the far left. Oh, that house looks gorgeous. Look at that. That's spectacular. That's just a model of a San Francisco Victorian right there. Beautiful. I'm now walking down Grattan Street. I'm going to go down to Cole. Cole is about a block away, well, is a block away from Belvedere. And this is the old stomping ground here. A lot of it feels unchanged. Maybe different cars, of course. That used to be Terrence Hallinan's house right there, who I see on the TV all the time. He was a supervisor at the time, and now, I'm not sure if he's still a supervisor or what he is. But this used to be his house. We used to spend time there. That's where I met Mayor Moscone, who was later assassinated by Dan White. At the end of Grattan, this block, there should be, if it's still there, one of these coin-op laundry facilities. Look how wide these sidewalks are. You don't get this anywhere. San Francisco. Maybe parts of New York, I don't know. Walking there. And of course the coin op is where we would often hang out. Oh, it's still there, coin laundry. Let's see if we can get a wide shot of that. We would spend time there. It looks a bit run down now, but I'm sure it's basically the same thing. Little neighborhood coin laundry that you could go into, and we'd hang out there just because we could. And sometimes we would steal the little soaps that were in the dispenser there and sell them to people for half price, make a little pocket money. So it's a whole scam we had going. Okay, inside the laundry room. I'm sure all of these machines have been upgraded. Dryers certainly have. It's a wall of dryers that Peter convinced us it would be a good idea to take a ride in. But as I remember, they were much bigger, but I still think there were two rows like that. I don't remember the coloring. Now there's the soap machine, and that is probably the exact same soap machine that we used to be able to hit that lever right there hard and it would pop out a soap. I wonder if I can still do it. Anyway, that's the exact same one. Look at those 60s flowers on it. That's amazing. That's been there forever. That thing's probably worth more on eBay than it actually makes selling soap. I don't know. Okay, so I'm back outside. I tried the soap trick. They seem to have fixed that finally, but boy, we had that racket going forever. But there's a little store. It looks like, is it a cleaners now? Yeah, a little cleaners up to the left. I don't know if you can see it. I'll probably try and get that a little later. See if I can zoom in. Right there. That used to be a little store we'd go to. Now it looks like a cleaners. Again, our old stomping ground. This is Cole Street. And Cole was sort of the little business district. Buses run here. That's Parnassus where that bus is turning. Tassajara Bakery, Alpha Market. It was all here. Some of it's still left. Tassajara Bakery is no longer. Alpha Market. You can probably see Cole Street Hardware is still there. And I hope to get a better look of this area shortly. Okay, I'm looking up Alma Street. Now here's an interesting thing. This is that little place that I said was a store. It's called Arts or Art Cleaners. At the time, people that owned that little store were Art and Melinda, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was Oliver and Melinda, but I think it was Art and Melinda. I don't know what this guy's doing. He's just decided to stop in front of my frame. But I wonder if it's the same guy that owns that place still. On our way back, I'm going to go up Alma Street. That's the way I would have walked. When I was down here, I would have gone up and then back down Belvedere. Okay, I'm up on Alma by Grattan School. This, I believe, is the apartment that Jesse Schwartz and his family lived in when I first met him. I think this is it, if I recall correctly. Now, I noticed there's another door there, and it could have been that one, but I don't think so. I think it was, we would go in this door and go, I want to say, to the right. And it may have been this corner apartment. Could have been this one, but I think it was this corner. Okay, I am at Grattan Street. This is an apartment building here. Get that in. And this is where I went to school in 4th grade. It was a different structure. I think we had concrete and a little sort of jungle gym type of thing out here. Sort of like this, but all made out of wood. Much different, much bigger. This has obviously been upgraded and changed. The school structurally is the same. I absolutely hated going to this school, and I would often cut and just walk home sometimes. I hated it so much. So one of these houses over here is where my friend, I think his name, I want to say his name was Oliver, lived. One of these houses. Really don't know which one. He lived with his Aunt Edna. Probably this one with the gate, because she was a little paranoid, but maybe not. And he used to make crank calls to her, pretending to be someone else that I think she was alcoholic and couldn't tell the difference, and he would demand money from her, or else he would stalk her and terrorize her or something, I don't know. But I thought it was funny at first until I realized really what was going on, and then it was sort of hard to be friends with him because he was just completely insane. And this is the playground. This is the Grattan School playground that I used to hang out at. Boy, this school was just, I just didn't like it. This gives me chills being here. Later on, I caught the bus up here on Schrader, and there's a park here. I can't remember the name of the park, but we would come here to play baseball because they had a pretty good field. So we would all trudge over with our bats and our gloves. And sometimes at Grattan, for recreation, they would take us over to this park, and we'd spend an hour running around. I don't even remember what it looks like. I think it has basketball courts. And a playground. Oh, the swings. I remember the swings. Yeah, I remember my dad taking me here too. This park. We've got that TV tower, whatever it is, and somewhere hereabouts was where I would catch the bus to go to San Francisco Community School down in the marina in the morning after I left this hellish school. Okay, this is now going up Alma Street. And at the top there is Belvedere. And this is the direction we would often go after we go to that little corner market and get something to eat. And oftentimes we'd have our skateboard and we would skateboard down the hill back to the little flat area on Belvedere. So we'll see what that looks like when we get up there. Okay, we're looking up Belvedere Street to I can't remember, I think Rivoli is the next stop, and then 17th, and then Carmel. And up there, you can't really see this little mountain. That's Tank Hill. And when you cut class, it was very easy to go up to Tank Hill and sit on that rock and watch all the way down the street, perfectly down the street. I could see when my mom would take off and go to school, so I could then leave Tank Rock and come back home and just stay at home all day. And I kept that racket up for a while until I got busted. But getting busted really wasn't that bad. It was kind of silly. Looking down Belvedere Street, I have a car coming behind me. I'll move up shortly. Is where we would often skateboard down this hill, and at the time it was pretty terrifying. And as I look at it now, I might be a little intimidated by it, but that's what we did. Very quiet in this neighborhood. This is a mixed neighborhood as far as houses and apartment buildings go. For instance, that's an apartment building, I believe. And in the same neighborhood you then have just rows and rows of houses, these Victorian structures. Some of them have, like, I think that's an apartment building. Some of them have little ornate little pieces of trim to them. It's very unique to this city and very beautiful. Others are more plain, but each one is fairly different in its coloring and its style. Some of them are kind of the same. I don't remember who lived in all these places. There were, from time to time, we would have friends that lived in them, but there's just a few of the houses I can pick out. This one we're coming up on is Ralph and Valerie and Scott Daniels' house, and they live here, and they're probably inside right now. And that's always been a really, really nice house. They've taken care of it over the years. They really, really love this house. And when you go inside, it's just in a constant state of being repaired and updated and fixed. This next house is 436 Belvedere. These people are looking at me like I'm insane. This is 436 Belvedere. This is where I was born. This is when I was born, where we lived. It's now being updated, you can see. When we moved out, this is where the Boccaccios lived. Their mother, Shirley Boccaccio, bought this property. And this is two flats here. What is it? 466 and 468 Belvedere Street. And this staircase is the same. That was never updated. The brickwork is the same. You can hear that there's vacuuming going on in there. Can't remember what the garage was like. It probably looks like it was upgraded. And this little alleyway, I remember. This little door. You can get into the property through the side. But anyway, that's where the Boccaccios lived. And they lived on the top flat. I think we lived on the bottom flat, and Jay Davis and Mary Ellen lived up on the top flat, as I remember. And I think my parents rented that house. Now, when we moved, and I'm not sure what year we moved, I want to say like 70 or 71, we moved to where that red car is. That's my mom's car, now Butch's car. That's 436 Belvedere, more on the flat part of the street, and that's where we had moved to. And over here, the house that we're looking at now, that belonged to James Marino, and I think that his family still owns that property, 467 Belvedere. I know his father passed away, and I believe his sister and his mother are still around. I couldn't say whether or not his sister was still there, but I would guess that his mother is, unless she sold the property, but I don't know either way. I don't think James lives here anymore. Next to 467 Belvedere is this building. And this building, when we were kids, was an empty lot. And we used to call this lot the junkyard, because it was just overgrown with bushes, and it was just, there was a big tree there. That was the tree that Eric climbed and fell out of and broke his arm. He had to go to the hospital. And I think it was a compound fracture, although I just don't really remember the details. Well, I remember when he fell out of the tree, it looked like a cartoon. I remember that was my impression, the way that he fell. And I remember he was kind of climbing the tree just using his arms, not really using his legs. He was determined to get to the top, and I guess he couldn't find a foothold. I don't know if he slipped, if his grip slipped, or what happened, but he fell, and it was, in my child's mind, kind of comical. Now, I remember going into this house. I don't remember why. This has clearly been upgraded. This is 464 Belvedere Street. Very nicely kept house. As I remember, this was always a well-preserved house. And there was a woman, an older, I think the Boccaccios were friends with her, but I don't remember what the occasion was. So, the car parking here. I'm sure everyone thinks I'm casing the place, trying to figure out which house to break into. But that is not the case. I am just trying to put together what this place was. Look at that little staircase with the little window. That's kind of unique. I like that. Different styles here, all the different options that you can kind of go with on your house. And there are people that build these things that's their specialty, these Victorians. Before I go back into 436, I want to just get a couple more houses. One is the Schneider's house, which we're coming up on. That's a house they have always maintained. They've always taken care of it, and it's always been like a showpiece. Not all the houses are like that. Ours used to be like that. Now it's kind of a dive, but you know, it needs a lot of updating. It needs cleaning, and really could use some work. But the Schneiders have been incredibly meticulous about their house, keeping it well preserved. And let's see, that is going to be, I'm not getting a good shot because of the sun reflection. This is the Schneider's house here. Really, really beautiful inside. The back, it's just huge, and it's they've kept this house very, very comfortable over the years. When you go in, you just feel, you know, like everything's been so well taken care of and managed. I do not know the address of this house. I don't see any numbers. Well, next door is 431, so if I find the numbers, I will shout them out. Okay, so this is the Schneider's is 425 Belvedere. And again, it's just been very well kept, very well. This house has been kind of unique. I'm getting a lens flare. I'll kind of try to walk around it. But this belonged to, this is where Marlin lived, I believe. Blackwell, Marlin Blackwell. And I doubt that the Blackwells are still here. 422 Belvedere. It's very beautiful. It's been kept up, or it's been repaired, I think, clearly since they left in the 70s or 80s. But Mr. Blackwell used to sit on the porch here and yell at people. He was kind of a funny guy, but in a sad way. He would oftentimes direct traffic for absolutely no reason. He was majorly alcoholic. And he had two sons, as I remember. His wife lived there. I cannot remember her name. But the sons were Marlin and Alan. Alan being the older son. And we didn't hang out with Alan too much. He was always around, but he really didn't have time for us. We were the younger kids, and he was a bit older. And he always seemed wiser to us, although I wonder where Alan is today. It'd be nice to see him and kind of find out what happened. Marlin's around somewhere. Penelope's in touch with him, but I don't know where he is. Really nice kid, really nice kid. He was always very popular and funny, very, very funny sense of humor. You know, good guy all around, as I remember Marlin. And I'm sure he is around somewhere. Penelope was going to put me in touch with him, so that would be interesting. This street here is Parnassus. This borders this part of Belvedere. Belvedere does continue on the other side. There's another part of it, but we always kind of consider this the main part of Belvedere. I don't know if it's I guess it'd be a north and a south Belvedere, but they were never called that. And then we have Parnassus. This is the end of Parnassus up there. That hits Clayton, where that bus is turning off of Clayton onto Parnassus. And I'm not going to really get the shot, but it goes down this way. Parnassus is the street that USF is on, and if we continue up the hill, let's see if I can get a better shot. You can see USF. It's those tall buildings in the background on top. It's the University of San Francisco, mostly a medical school, if I understand correctly. Although I don't know what all the other programs are. And then down below there where the bus is going to cross, that is Cole Street. We were just on Cole. And one of these buildings is where, let's see, what was the name of that family? I can't remember the name of the family now, but Carl and Kurt, I think, were the names of the sons. And for some reason we didn't get along with them too well. They were around, but I don't think we liked them too much, and I can't remember why. But they lived in one of these. And so this is the 400 block of Belvedere, hence 436 Belvedere. These houses have all been brilliantly maintained, just brilliant. This is really a gorgeous neighborhood. Lots of little stories, lots of little places that we would explore. Every nook of this street we knew when we were kids. Every backyard is unique, different, offers different features based on the personality of the occupant. It was not so Chinese menu as a lot of newer communities can be, but because these were built, I don't know, I guess after the earthquake or in the 1930s or something. Earthquake was 1906, and these are maybe 1930s, 1920s, I suppose, I would guess. There wasn't such a kind of menu of options. You just sort of what you wanted to put in. You would kind of design your own backyard. and take it from there. Okay, I think that's the end of the first part. I'd like to get inside my house in the 436 Belvedere and kind of take a look around. And maybe go up in the attic, maybe go out back. Out back is kind of a mess. That really needs to be upgraded. Well, it needs to be, a garden needs to be planted is what it is. The rocks from the 70s, early 70s are still here. This house was interesting. This was belonged to this kid Paris. There's the big house, and then there's a little side door where you would have an apartment. So there's a second little apartment that's built there, see? Next to the garage. That was always rented out. And then, let's see, there's a little, remember that little place was a little place you could always hide and seek. And people could never find you. So anyway, 436, here we go, and we'll look at it in greater detail inside. Okay, here at 436, I'm going to go inside. You'll notice that some of the masonry, this is all probably original masonry, the stairs, this stuff here, this all needs to be replaced, redone. But here we go, let's go up the steps. Got this balcony off to the side, needs repainting, refinishing, and there are chips and things in the stairs like that that need to be replaced. We have this room in front of the front door. We have a big sort of multicolored light fixture up there. This would, I guess, be the equivalent of like a mud room if you lived in Tahoe. Little room before you get in. There's a little cat that likes to hang out here. But it's not. This cat doesn't belong to this house. She likes to hang out here, and she tries to get inside the house, which I'm not going to let her get inside the house. Oops. Sorry, kitty. But anyway, we walk in, and we're immediately greeted by this entryway. There is stuff everywhere. And again, there's a lot of updating that needs to take place. This is the living room, which we'll get to, but one thing that's kind of nice is you can separate the living room from this front entryway with these doors. I guess the door is locked. There's a little skeleton key keyhole right there, but if you like, you can separate out the living room with these doors. And the woodwork in this house is actually really, really beautiful. The wainscoting tends to be very high, which we'll see when we get into the living room. Maybe some stuff upstairs. Can you catch that? See how high that wainscoting is? Very, very high. Very nice woodwork. Nice contrast. The ceilings are also great in here. We'll get to that. But that's the front door that we just came through. And this would be the foyer. This is the first room off to your left when you get in here. This is now my grandfather's office. This used to be my mom's room. And there is one piece of original furniture that's still left. This thing, this dresser with the mirrors, that was here when my mom was here. And that was used by my mom. It's a very nice piece of furniture. You can open it up and you have all your little drawers and your shoes, and then you have the big open cabinetry here. There's a big clock in there and hats and things. If I remember, she got this from Diane Posey. That's my recollection. There's been wallpapering put up, but the trim is all the same. It's sort of hard to get a sense of what this room was like. Before, there's a fireplace. I'm not sure if that was an operational fireplace. You can kind of see it hiding behind the centerfolds and the pictures. And then we have windows facing the street, these bay windows. There's 3 of them. They extend out over the sidewalk. The shade, of course, is drawn on this one. And my mom used to keep 2 pot plants on these windows. I think it was the big window, or maybe it was the smaller ones, I'm not sure, but we had 2 pot plants overlooking the street, and it was a miracle that we never got busted. So this is now my grandfather's office, and He likes to call this a catch-all room. And it's really in the style of the rest of the house. I guess you could call this a catch-all house, because there's tons of stuff. There's just gold records everywhere. Like, these are from Japan. I don't know what these are for. I guess I could read it, but, you know, I'd be here all day reading these things. They're just awards and gold records and so on and so forth. I'll try to get a wider shot of the foyer room. Door there leads to either the kitchen or the downstairs. I'm not sure why he has it shut off. Maybe he doesn't want the cat going down there. We've got this staircase that's going to take us up to the second floor, which we'll get to shortly. These are old light fixtures here. These are original light fixtures. You don't really see those anymore, and it probably should be replaced. It might even be dangerous. But this is the main sitting room. And again, there's a fireplace here. This is an actual fireplace. I know that one works. I don't know what the flue is like with a chimney, but we used to light wood up in that fire, paper and wood. There's now a TV in front of it and a little stereo. There is just stuff everywhere you look. There's really no order to it. That's a picture of me. I think that's maybe 10th grade. I'm guessing 9th grade, 10th grade. Stuff everywhere. I have no idea what any of this stuff is. There are pictures, there are paintings that my uncle did. There are just framed, whatever they are. And it's just everywhere. There are maybe 6 or 7 clocks in here with pendulums, so you can hear them ticking away constantly. What's on the ground is just blue carpet remnant. My phone is ringing. I'm going to go ahead and take that and then start up again. Okay, more of this sitting room. Let's look at the ceilings. The ceilings have always impressed me in this house. This little chandelier, that's always been there. It actually could stand to be either cleaned or replaced. It looks like pieces of it are missing. But I just love the ceilings in this house. I remember that as a kid, and how much I enjoyed that for some reason. Just always impressed me. And when I find houses that have ceilings, attention paid to them, I always like that. Let's go into the kitchen. As you walk in this kitchen, there's this little wind chime, and you always bang your head on it. Once again, stuff everywhere, covering every square inch of this place. This kitchen had been remodeled when I was a kid, and I believe the kitchen and the bathroom upstairs, which you'll see shortly, there were little photographs that appeared in Architectural Digest, as I remember. I remember that was the case. And this took a long time. We were displaced. Our kitchen was down in the basement for about a year or longer. 15 months, maybe 14 months. It was a lot of time to spend without a kitchen, but when it was done, you can see how incredibly beautiful it was. This stove was not here. There was a restaurant quality stove, really nice. I think it was called a Fox stove, and this hood worked, which I don't think it works now. At one point that caught fire, and I believe the fire department had to come out and deal with that, and I think that we just never got it repaired. I don't know why. There is a breakfast room there and a breakfast table covered with stuff. That breakfast table is original to this room, and there's a little sitting room there where we used to sit and place phone calls before the days of wireless, and it was just kind of a nice little place to sit. This is that's the dishwasher that should probably be replaced, and you can see that there's wood placed on top of it so that it would match the countertop. A lot of this has not been changed or maintained or anything. This refrigerator could probably also go. You can see again it has the wood on top of it to kind of help make the appliance organic to the room. And then there's this little sitting room that's been built. This is new to me. This was an outdoor deck. We used to have a sliding door here, and then right where I am now we would be outside on this big deck, but it's been changed into kind of a sitting room, bedroom thing, I guess. I don't really know. There's a bathroom as well in there. One of the problems with this house is that it didn't have a bathroom on the main floor. There's a floor below us, and then there's a floor above us, and then there's an attic above that. So we have the garage, the first floor, the second floor, the attic. And the first floor did not have a bathroom. You always had to go upstairs or downstairs if you needed to use the bathroom, but now with this little addition, we have another bathroom. Let's go outside. You can see that there's some of the deck that remains where I'm going down now. I'll turn around and show that to you. That's all that remains of that deck, just that little staircase. And I believe that is our deck. I believe that's the original deck. The rest of it has been, as you can see, there's a foundation that's been put down. You used to be able to go under the house, and this part has been built. There's this awning, this green awning thing. There's an apple tree there. I had planted that. My mom got that for me, and I planted it. These white rocks are actually the same white rocks that were here in the 70s. This garden used to be really very nicely done, and now it's been kind of hopelessly neglected. A lot of this needs to be torn out, changed. We've got the cyclone fencing, which I don't remember there being cyclone fencing. I remember, because my mom hated cyclone fencing. I remember there being a wooden fence like the one you see there. And the one you see there, these fences could probably be replaced too. But overall, there's just, this is a blank slate. There's a lot of work that can take place here. You can probably put together a secret garden, a really nice secret garden if you want. It's unfortunate that more has not been made out of this. That little wall there has always been there. That was built, there was a little play set back there that was put up for me and my sister, which we didn't use a lot, but we use sometimes. Now there's some kind of cactus growing out of it. And that's the backyard. I'll try to get another shot of that. Okay, this is the far corner of the backyard. And trees are still here, those survived. I'm standing on a tree stump. Clearly this tree did not survive. There's my shoe. We used to fence hop, and we would jump over this fence, and we would make our way all the way up to Peter's house, to 466 Belvedere Street, and we would go through other people's yards to get there. Some of the yards are very nicely maintained, and some of them are not, like ours. Wouldn't it be nice to make this nice again? Okay, I just want to get a quick shot of this alleyway, walking down the little side alleyway. Again, there used to be a deck, now it's a house. And the gate that leads out to the front is also different. This gets us down to the basement. I forget where that takes us, this particular door. But this is where the garbage cans were, and we always used to throw the garbage over the top railing there, right down into the garbage. And it was really fun when it made it in, and it really sucked when you hit the side of the garbage can and the thing would explode and you'd have to come down and pick it all up, and it was disgusting. So this is the little alleyway. I'm going to go back inside and see if I can get the top floor. Okay, I'm back in the foyer. That's my mom and my dad and me as a baby. I guess that's 1967 or 68. Somewhere there, probably 67. And that portrait in that frame hung in my mom's room, I believe, or the living room. I can't remember. I don't know what this is. Jefferson Airplane. That's advertising a concert. I'm going to go upstairs to the second floor now. This little thing used to light up. I can't imagine that works anymore, and I can't imagine all the pieces are there. But I remember this being carpeted, I believe, the staircase. No longer carpeted. We have remnants of carpet from just kind of randomly placed. There are 4 bedrooms up here and 1 bathroom. The bathroom is split in 2. You have the commode room, and then you have the really nice bathtub shower thing and a sink. This is one of the bedrooms. Again, in the catch-all style, as my grandfather likes to put it. I don't know the significance of many of these paintings. I believe that my uncle painted a lot of them. They do say Buchwald on them, so that would indicate that he had a hand in this. Again, gold records and certificates and whatever all over the place. There's a number of framed pictures and random things here. I don't know what those are, but they mean something to my grandfather. This is a little bureau. That's probably, I don't know where that comes from. And this little closet here holds more those things and jackets. And there's a little window there. That's kind of nice. Shelving, tall little hidden closet. I used to project movies on this wall right here. Had a little setup right there, and I would project movies and we would watch them. I don't know what that thing is. That would be an interesting topic of discussion. Okay, that's the one bedroom. Here's the second bedroom. I'm not getting... There we go. I used to, when my parents were still married anyway, I used to set up my trains in this room. And now we have much of the same, just a kind of collection of disparate stuff. Not a lot of matching. A lot of pictures like that I recognize, probably from my grandparents' house. There are twin beds here. I think those adjust. They're very old. They've been around for a while. There's a closet there. That closet actually goes through to the room that we were just in. And then there's a second closet here, kind of a walk-in deal. There's not much in here. Some shoes. My grandfather, I guess, keeps his shoes here. Again, we have a window inside the closet. There's plenty of space. Not a lot of hanging space. This is all as it was. Like it's untouched or something. Okay. Here's the commode room. Now this one was redone. You can see that used to be where the tank to the water was kept, and there would be a chain on that far right that you would pull, and that's how you would flush the toilet. And there's the toilet. This is a new toilet, clearly. There's a sink there that doesn't look like it's operational or being used. Now it's just a shelf. Again, look at how high the wainscoting is. It's very nice. Let's get the reverse angle. This is what you would see if you were actually using this room. And there's a ladder outside. That ladder is used to climb up to the attic, which I will try to take a peek at. That's the attic access door. I don't know what this is. I can't remember. This is just, I guess, the chimney right there. That must be what that leads to. It's just kind of an interior access panel access panel to the interior of the house. This is the pride and joy of the house here. Again, it's in the catch-all style as it's decorated, but this is an absolutely beautiful room when it's just maintained. It's just gorgeous. This was always my favorite room. It's got this giant bathtub, and the room extends out over the house, over the street, and these stained glass windows, let's see if we can get a better look. You can look through them, and there's the backyard. We're in the alleyway, you see. There's the backyard. And look over here, and there's the street. There's Belvedere Street. Can you see that? So we're extended out, and I guess technically people could see you, but the stained glass kind of maintains your privacy. So you can see them, and they can't see you. Pretty clever, huh? You've got this light panel. Again, the ceilings are done. Right here you've got this shelving and the flooring, which is kind of hidden again by little carpet remnants. You've got this little sauna type bench and towel racks. You've got more stained glass work here, which is very beautiful. Overall, just a gorgeous room. I would replace those light strips. I don't like that at all. But, you know, I guess in the 1970s that was pretty cool that you could do that. There was a different mirror here. That's new. That round, that oval-shaped mirror. That's new. Okay, so that's the bathroom. Here's the sink. Let's try and get that. There's some cabinetry. All of this needs to be what's the word? Refinished, I guess, maybe. Certainly cleaned. Okay, so here's the staircase, top floor there, stuff everywhere on the walls, all the pictures and awards and whatnot. Then this was my room. This was actually, there are two more rooms here to look at, a small one and a large one, but there's a door in between the two that's been opened up. You can see the door, it's been opened up. Right there, in between the two. Now it's just one big front room. I guess this would be like the master bedroom. This portion of it, the bigger portion, was my room when I was a kid, when my sister and my mom and I lived here. And the smaller one was my sister's room. And the door was closed and we had a bureau or something in between. But now there's just one entrance, and it's just been made into one room. These posters were probably, many of them, printed up by my grandfather. He was a lithographer, and he supplied a lot of the artwork that you would see during the 60s. Pictures of my uncle singing on stage just everywhere. Again, I don't know the significance of the ones that he has that he printed out or that he's maybe collecting. There's a little place you can sit here. That's always cool. And there is, because he's keeping sheet music underneath here, books and sheet music. Wherever you can put stuff. You got a window overlooking the street. If this will open. There we go. Okay. So you look down on a Belvedere Street. That's where I got hit by the car. That's Grattan. Right there. I guess that's it. Let's take a wider look at what was my room. That's actually where I slept while I've been visiting this time. And lots of just random carpets thrown on the ground. I don't remember if this was carpeted when I was a kid. I seem to remember it being the hardwood floors, which are very nice. This piece of furniture is obviously very nice, but I don't know, maybe not the chair, but the desk portion is very nice. I don't know if that came from this house or if that was something that came over from like my grandfather's house or something when he moved in here. I don't know what year he moved in, but he's been here a while now. And that Jesus picture hung at Stanford. That's something that my uncle, I believe, drew. And more of the 1960s concert poster work for the Mothers, Lovin' Spoonful. Here's one for Elvis. I think that's Jimmy Page right there. If it's not, it's a random musician that is playing a double neck guitar that looks like Jimmy Page. I don't know who this is, what that is. I wish I could get a better shot. But I love this one, Led Zeppelin at the Fillmore. April 24th, 1969. 8 p.m. to question mark? Meaning they're going to play all night long Creedence, the Beatles. My uncle and my grandfather printed a lot of these, if not all of them. Hendrix, Grateful Dead. He knew all those guys. Jerry Garcia. And some baseball collections. Kitsch everywhere, except that's my iPod and my retainers for my teeth. And I think that's kind of it. I'm going to take a peek in the attic and then go down the basement. I have the ladder set up, and I'm going to climb it. There's no light up in the attic. It kind of looks like, I know my grandfather and my father have been cleaning this out, and it looks like they have rigged some kind of light fixture up here. This is your typical haunted mansion attic. Tons of crap everywhere. We don't even really know what a lot of it is. I noticed some of my toys up here, like my racetrack stuff. That's the front window that faces the street. It's very stuffy up here and hard to breathe. Very dusty, I would imagine. I think you're going to be able to see a lot. I can't really see a lot. There are just boxes and books and puzzles and car models and crap. That's going to be the chimney right there from the main sitting room. I don't know what this chimney is for. That might be no longer used, or maybe it's for the kitchen, I don't know. But this is what our attic looks like. And it's very big, very spacious, but just used for storage and no more. You don't see a lot of attics like this anymore. I mean, if you wanted to, I guess you could turn this into a room of some kind, but it would take on an awful lot of work. Okay, back in the main foyer. Looks like I have 16 minutes of tape left. I only have the garage that I want to look at, the basement, and there's this door that you open. Now, we used to get into the kitchen. This used to just always be open, and well, both doors were. You have a very sharp staircase, and again, in the style of catch-all, stuff everywhere. Very sharp, clearly not updated stairs. These little stair grips were here when I was a child, and this hasn't changed much at all. Little cabinetry behind this door, and stuff everywhere. This is the basement. I'll try to get the wide shot of it. This is room for a car, although it was never really used for a car because you had to open those garage doors right there, those big elephant type doors, and move your car in and then close them. Those little silhouettes of those rifles were always there. I don't know what that is. I imagine that they were... oh, this is interesting. Here's a collection of what used to be my guns. I recognize all of these. I think all of them. Maybe there's a couple I don't, but certainly that musket or pirate pistol, whatever that thing is called. Anyway, this basement is just in terrible shape. That picture of Betty Davis in the background was always there. Nothing has been moved. Nothing has been touched. This is just used for storage. There's a bunch of records. There's a closet here. Let's see if I can get that open. This used to be a little area that the hippies that lived in the house turned into a green room. So they would actually, that light fixture was always there. They would grow marijuana in here. And now there's just more artwork and magazines and pictures and stuff stored here. A lot of stuff I cannot identify. Those ping pong rackets. We used to have a ping pong table down here. It may still exist. I don't know. These are also rooms. They look like they've been locked up. Certainly hard to access. It used to be my chemistry lab there. But no longer. This is another door which I'm not going to try and access. There are big nails here. See those big nails? I have absolutely no clue what those are doing there. I do not remember those big nails being there. There's another back room. There's something that says light. Do we believe it? I don't believe it. I think that's the light. Oh my God, that is my old bicycle, my old dirt bike. I have not seen that in years and years and years, but when I lived in Palo Alto, I put together this mongoose, and I was really happy and proud of that thing. I don't know why it's down here. I don't know what it's doing here, but that's my bike that I rode when I was, I guess, a teenager, maybe a little bit in high school. There's a little bathroom here. It's kind of disgusting little room. I thought that was updated, but I guess not. Maybe it had been a little bit. We need more lights down here. There's a light. This is where the giant furnace lives that heats this big house. And, oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this little room. This is clearly underneath the staircase. I don't know what this is all cleaned out. I have no idea what was there. Those were the original fireplace tools that we had up by the fireplace when I was a kid. And there's some of my mom's stuff there. It says Joan on it. That clearly is something that I remember. We used to have that little no smoking pad of paper. I don't know where that came from. I Again, I have no idea what this stuff is. There's all kinds of just storage, and it's just all been left here. Pieces of wood, like driftwood or something. Lots of updating needs to take place. There was a shower put down here to turn this into like a little little apartment. There's another bedroom down here, and we would always have someone that lived in the basement. Right now, this room is locked up by my grandfather. He does not want anyone to go in there. This is an old rocking chair that I believe my mom... Can't see this, can you? Wish there was more lighting. Here's a light. Here's a way to turn it on. There we go. That's an old rocking chair that my mom used to have up in that smaller front bedroom that she would hold me and sing me lullabies and put me to sleep. That's what she would do. There's a hot water heater there. We have a washer. I do not see a dryer. I did see some lines when we came in to kind of line dry your clothes, but I don't see a dryer. That's very odd. I'm going to try and see what this bathroom looks like in here. This is our little extra downstairs shower. I don't think this is in good shape at all. This is disgusting, and there's just mold everywhere. Shelving, and this just looks like it's out of Amityville Horror. Cobwebs everywhere, dirty, not maintained at all. There's that door that we looked at, that you can access this basement area through the through that back alley there. And we used to have light coming through this window, but now we don't because it's covered up with the addition, that front room or back room addition. Oh, there's more light. Okay, so we've got an old Maytag washer down here. All right. Let's get out of here. There are things in here I know I'm not seeing, and it's stuff that probably meant something to me at one point. Here's a bicycle. I don't recognize this. Univega. I don't know whose bike that was. That one's mine. Here's an old, what looks like a 1930s radio, and I wonder where that came from. That, I'm sure, has a story behind it. And that's our basement. Again, we have these little silhouettes. I remember these little pictures of animals running along the way here. Such an interesting, and then there's just holes in the ceiling that need to be replaced. These have been here forever. Just no one's touched it. No one's bothered to put any time or anything. There's pipes everywhere. I don't know what they carry, but anyway, that's the basement. Okay, I'm now at the corner of Parnassus and Cole. That used to be Tassajara Bakery. It's now Boulangerie de Cole Valley or something. And over on the other side of the street is Alpha Market. That was there way back in the 60s and 70s. And it's still Alpha Market. That place actually looks like it hasn't changed. And also next to it is Cole Street Hardware. Those two are always sort of a pair. I don't think Cole Street Hardware is all that different. I sort of think the sign has been changed, but a lot of the signage and a lot of the architecture are exactly as they were back in the 70s. And there are a number of streets, this little area of commerce down here that we used to come down. Much of it unchanged. Certainly the buildings, they don't look like they've been changed, but they've been maintained, so that's nice. It's actually a lot of this down here, while some of it has changed. For instance, this is now a gym. I don't remember what that was. I want to say it was like a little printing house or something. This Cole Valley Fitness. I think, you know, things like that will have changed, but for the most part, this place is untouched. Look at these buses. These buses are pretty much the same. This is coming down the hill of Parnassus here. I hope you can hear me. I don't know if I can hear me. It's a little hill right there. Skateboard down that. Look how wide the sidewalks are. And then, of course, that was Tassajara Bakery. And up there is the rest of Cole Street. We were there yesterday. Today, by the way, being November 27th, it's a Sunday. And we've got Tank Hill, a nicer shot of Tank Hill. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. There we go. It's Tank Hill. There's a rock slide up there we used to go down. Okay, this is just, I just want to get a shot of the entire block. That's Cole Street Hardware. This garage was always here. Okay, I'll try to get this side of the street that I'm on as well. Okay, that is the corner of Cole and Carl. I'm in the middle of Cole Street between Parnassus and Carl. That used to be the other cafe. It's now Crepes on Cole, and we went there a couple days ago. It was pretty good. Lots of these storefronts seem to have changed. Finnegan's Wake, there used to be Maud's. That was a lesbian bar. And it is no more, but that was there all the time I was growing up, certainly. Cars are certainly different, of course. I'm going to go down to Carl and Cole. Okay, I'm on Carl at Cole, and this is where the N Judah comes out of and goes into. That's the end of Carl up there. That runs into Clayton. We run down here. That's where the N Judah comes out of the tunnel from the Market Street area. And once again, this is Carl Street. There's that cafe that used to be the other cafe. That's the track that the N Judah runs down. Okay, back on another corner of Cole and Carl. I don't remember what that used to be, but I think that used to be another little restaurant cafe. You could go listen to music if I remember correctly. There's the TV antenna there. And then a bar called Kezar. Let's see if I can get, there we go. Oh, shade the sun. That used to be called Bradley's Corner. It used to be a gay bar. I don't know if it's still a gay bar, but it's called Kezar now. Kezar after the name of the stadium that used to be in this area, and I think they knocked the old Kezar down and built a new one. But I think there still is a stadium. This is looking down Cole Street. This street is absolutely unchanged. It's absolutely unchanged. If you drive down it, it's literally like going back in time. It just looks like things have been maintained but not really changed at all. It's an interesting street to come back to. It's another little store we used to stop at on the way to Haight Street. I think someone's trying to get in here now. Called Cole Foods, and I believe that that's what it was called back in the 70s. Cole Foods. This is in between Carl and Franklin on Cole Street. This is maybe a good representation of the walk to Haight Ashbury. This is still Cole at Beulah. And you can kind of see what it would have looked like in the 60s and 70s had you walked down the street with these kinds of Victorians with the multicolors and the trim and all that sort of stuff. They today look exactly the same. Let's see if I can get the rest of this neighborhood. Same kind of architecture, style, trim, colors on both sides. Okay, that is the corner of Cole and Haight. This block has been completely untouched. Doesn't even look like it's been painted. Just like stepping back in time. Look how close those buildings are together. Of course, they're right up against each other, and the roofs are at the same level, and that's where we might have gone roof hopping on something like that. But this is just vintage 1960s San Francisco here. With only by neglect, really. It's been kind of maintained, I guess. That corner store, there used to be a comic book store, and I would sometimes work at it as a little kid when I was about 9. But let's go take another look at Haight Ashbury. Okay, I am at the corner of Haight and Cole. That would be the comic book store, or the one-time comic book store. San Francisco Police Department. A lot of these buildings, of course, were here. I think the stores were very different. Got a bus coming along. This is it. This is Haight Street right here at its core. Okay, corner of Haight and Belvedere, the 00 block, or 0100 block of Haight and Belvedere. Look at some of this architecture. I mean, this is exactly the way it was, and that's been beautifully maintained. But you can really get a sense of what it was down in the middle here of Haight Ashbury. Okay, this is the corner of Haight Ashbury, Haight and Ashbury. This is what it looks like. Still fairly vintage. Even the feel, even the trash level is kind of the same, but this is it. This is the epicenter, Haight Ashbury. Okay, this is another angle of Haight Ashbury, the corner of. I'm just going to use up this tape, getting the decor. Okay, this is the corner of Haight and Masonic. This is where the bus comes down here. And someone's shouting in the distance. I don't know if they're actually shouting at someone or something. Anything's possible on this street. Haight and Masonic. Let's see if we can get the rest of it. This is kind of an interesting building here. I'm in between Masonic and Ashbury on Haight Street. I wish I could get the wide shot of this. The light sticking out. That's priceless. And also, just a little artistic measure, a little Haight Ashbury sign over Happy Feet. Great looking building. Okay, I'm just going to let this run out. I'm up at Schrader, still on Haight Street. This is towards where that McDonald's was, up by Stanyan. Who's that guy I just talked to? There's an old movie house here called the Red Vic, showing Grizzly Man, which is an awful movie. Interesting, but kind of awful. So you can get the Red Vic. There it is, the Red Vic movie house, and inside are like old couches and things that you sit on. But I'm just waiting for this tape to roll out. I'm going to go up to the corner of Schrader and see if I can get something up there. Okay, this is a nice little slice. This is between Schrader and Stanyan, still on Haight Street. And interestingly, there used to be a bowling alley right there next to the McDonald's, if that's still a McDonald's. It looks like it is. The one I used to eat at as a kid. It now looks like a music store. This bowling alley is no longer there, unfortunately. And then straight ahead is Golden Gate Park, near Hippie Hill. That's the area. Okay, this is the corner of Stanyan and Haight Street. This is actually where Haight Street ends. That's the McDonald's there. And this is all new to me. Or is it the one that says Haight Street on it?